What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's Curtain to Curtain. My name is Phoenix,
My name is Lazuli.
and we are back once again. We are now officially, I think, yeah, this is officially our step into the B's. We finished the
Woo!
A's. The A's were up and down. There was some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was some other stuff. Oh no, wait, this isn't our first foray in the B's.
No.
We just did Be More Chill and Beetlejuice. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're second week into the B's, which I'm very excited to talk about because
We got some musicals here for
we got some
y'all.
musicals here. we got some musicals here. So we are talking Bonnie and Clyde and the Book of Mormon. Two vastly different musicals.
Oh yeah. Vibes
Very,
are very different.
absolutely. And two musicals I'm not gonna
I
spoil
have
it.
differing opinions on these musicals.
I'm not gonna spoil it just yet. How I feel on these two, but this was an interesting pairing.
Oh, definitely. Because they came out not in the same I don't think they were in the Tonys together at all or anything like that, but they
Mm-mm.
came out the same like year-ish, I think.
Ish, yeah, like around the same time.
Mhm. But like they're so different.
Yeah. Uh, so we'll kick off with Bonnie and Clyde.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. So Bonnie and Clyde was developed around 2009, hit Broadway in 2011, which is around the same time as
Mhm.
Mormon. So yeah, they were around the same time, but Bonnie and Clyde did not have a great run at all. It
Yeah, which is a shame.
Yeah, like so it premiered in San Diego, ran had a decent run, 33 performances, and won some San Diego Theater Critics Circle awards. Like it did well. Then it moved to Sarasota, had 36 performances then, did great. And finally moved to Broadway in 2011 and just crashed. Like I don't even think it made it out of the year. Like
Oh
yeah,
no, it didn't.
yeah.
That's so only 36. That's so sad.
Yeah, that's
The
crazy.
director stated that he never had a show close while it was still playing to audiences like a hit. That's
Yeah,
so sad. It must have just been bad luck.
I think it may have been bad luck, maybe bad timing. I think,
Mhm.
especially if it was on at the same time as Book of Mormon, what's
Yeah.
happening is like one show's taking up a lot of people's attention, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
just not.
I'm gonna look to see what was on Broadway that year.
Yeah.
Um well, Godspell. There was Godspell.
Ooh.
Um Sister Act, Spider-Man.
Oh, turn
And
off the spark.
Book of Mormon. Yeah, I think Book of Mormon killed it.
Yeah. Cause you gotta imagine that was taking a lot of the draw there. Not to mention,
Mhm.
like they were in the I think it was the Schoenfeld, yeah, Schoenfeld Theater,
Yeah.
which is a great theater. A lot of great stuff has premiered at that theater, but you're going up against Richard Rogers and like there's a
Mhm.
couple other like really big name theaters uh in that area. So like if you're at the Schoenfeld, not that the Schoenfeld is a bad theater, it isn't. Plenty of great shows have come out of it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just it's a hard place
Mhm.
to draw. Um Especially when you got other stuff just at the same time. Uh
Yeah.
but so the story, I mean if you know the story of Bonnie and Clyde, they were two
I
outlaws.
did not.
Oh, really?
Which is crazy given the fact that I'm a history person. I'm not big on modern history though, so I guess it makes sense. But like I like knew the names.
Right?
That's it. So I knew Bonnie and Clyde as in like, oh yeah, I recognize the name. People like
Mm,
use it to like compare like daredevil couples and
mm.
everything. But like did not know the history at all and I had to Google it and I was like, "Oh. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting because the way the show starts, it, they do like a prologue, so it starts at the
Mhm.
ending.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is like because most people, obviously not Lazuli, but
Not
like
me.
most people know the story about Bonnie and Clyde and how it ended. So I
Yeah.
thought starting it at the end was a great idea because it's
Mhm.
like, okay, we know where we're headed, basically. You know where you're headed as soon as you walk in the door because you know the story
Mhm.
of Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
So they were two outlaws back during the Great Depression era. They fell in love and they started committing bank robberies.
Mhm.
And you know, obviously ran afoul of the law,
Yeah.
and eventually were gunned
Terrorize
down.
the South.
Yeah, and were eventually gunned down, and that's their story. But they achieved folk hero status because they were, these two people who just were like Lazuli said, they were rebels, they were a rebel couple. It was kind of like a cool thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they kind of raised that up. So what was interesting to me is I was like, so the excuse me, the music is done by Frank Wildhorn. Yeah, Frank Wildhorn. Lyrics by
Mhm.
Don Black. Book by Ivan Minchell. Um, and it's they call it a non-traditional score because it's a mix of rockabilly, blues, and gospel music.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
the gospel actually really worked
I
for me. I was
yeah,
like,
it worked. I enjoyed this musical a lot. I had a
yeah,
great time listening to it. I thought it was fun. The music was engaging, the lyrics are engaging. Jeremy Jordan and
ooh,
Laura Osnes were
man.
great choices. Oh my god.
There were so many times when like they were singing together. I was like, dude,
Their
this
voices just work
is
so well
harmonized like
together.
so perfect. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, like
Like,
talk about perfect
ooh.
casting. Like,
Yeah.
like dude, their voices were smooth. Like I
Mhm.
was like, oh man, that's brilliant. And I mean, me, I watched my. This is a little sad, but my introduction to Jeremy Jordan was actually through a show called Smash. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I have heard of it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
very,
Yeah, not sure what it
very,
is, but I know
very,
it was a show.
very bad show. Like, I mean, so bad. Like, oh,
Mhm.
could not be worse. Like, it's
Yeah.
really one of the worst shows I've ever watched,
Yeah,
and I can't
Jeremy
believe I finished
Jordan. Yeah. Jeremy Jordan actually is like on the up right now cuz I know that I like went and looked at like his Wikipedia cuz I was just curious about him and like he's not doing Broadway stuff right now, but he's like a voice actor in Has Been Hotel, which is like popping off right now. So
it.
like good for him.
He's done great stuff.
And I
I
mean
mean,
it is a musical still, it's just not Broadway. So like
yeah, like well, Jeremy Jordan. I
king.
mean, He's been in a couple of. I wouldn't call them flops, but like he's been in on a couple of smaller uh Broadway shows.
Mhm.
Like he's rarely been in like the hits, right?
Yeah.
He's been in smaller ones. He's been in a couple of big name ones. He was in Little Shop
Mhm.
of Horrors. Was
Yeah,
in
I saw
Newsies.
that.
So like he's been in a couple of big ones, but he's never like if there's like an
Newsies.
original one where he's
Yeah.
like the lead, those are usually the smaller ones. But
Mhm.
great voice, incredible
Oh
voice.
yeah.
And him and Laura, man, that was just magic. Like that was just magic. So I think cat's out of the bag. We both pretty much love this one.
Oh my god, it was so fun. I love the plot. And like I love the plot. History. But like I I enjoyed it a lot not knowing what was happening and everything.
Hmm.
I thought it was fun and stuff, and then when I realized it was like like actual historical events, I was like, "Oh, this makes it even better," because I don't know how well and how accurate it is to the history, but
Right.
I feel like they characterized these people really well and made them feel like people,
Yeah.
which is a thing that a lot of musicals tend to struggle with making historical figures actually feel like people and not just figures
Right.
and everything. So like
And Yeah, like, and you're 100% right, because I feel like the whole first act is just that, is them
Yes.
really fleshing out these two people,
Mhm.
and really showing who they are and their relationship. Like, I think of like the song "When I Drive," right?
I'm literally listening to it right now.
I see old folk jumping. When I drive, I'm in love, I'm alive. And I forget about everything I hate. When I drive, I can reach 65. I won't pay the law no mind. They'll always be behind. And man, that just feels great.
like to me, I'm like, when I drive, it feels like a cutting room floor song.
Yeah.
Like, for at least, like, for today's musicals, absolutely
Mhm.
feels like a cutting room floor song, because it's like, do we really need that? You find yourselves going, do we really need that? Because it's not plot driven,
Mm-mm.
right? It doesn't carry the
We
story forward
we
at all.
already have the "I Want" song in the beginning of the show.
Right. We got all of that. So it's like, this feels extra, and it feels like
It fits.
we're only doing this to pad time
Yeah.
onto the show. But it works because now we have an aspect of this character that's way more fleshed out than he would be if we didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I could see the producers fighting about this. Like, do we need this song? Like, yes,
Oh,
we need this song.
definitely. Yes.
Like, this was a fight, because I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, yes, this is laying out who this character is. And then that's not the only one. We get Raise a Little Hell.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
When I saw the like Wikipedia, because I think I've said this before. I usually will Google like Wikipedia and look at the synopsis as I'm listening to the musical, so I have an idea of what's going on. And like when I saw that, like what was going on in the background behind Raise a Little Hell, I was like, understandable.
yeah.
I'd want to commit a little bit of murder too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Understandable.
yeah. And like, yeah, that whole first act is just, and it's not just Bonnie and Clyde. We learn about Blanche and Buck and Tim. Is it Tim or Tom? I can't remember.
Ted.
Sorry, Ted. And like, all of these characters who are, a part of Bonnie and Clyde's story,
Yeah.
but like, are essentially side characters, but their stories interwoven with Bonnie and Clyde's adds more to the emotional weight of this story.
Yes.
Like, I fell in love with Blanche.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
fell in love with Blanche. Like, such a funny character. Like, just like wholesome and endearing and trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Right? And and you feel for her. You feel for her, especially as it gets to the second act. You definitely feel for her and what she wants to do. And like, to me, I thought that was crazy, because I'm like, here's this story that we're supposed to be talking about these two outlaws.
Yeah.
And here I am, my favorite character is this random, friend of hers who I'm just like madly in love with, who I think is just the best. And like, her song, "You're Going Back to Jail," is one of the funniest songs in the first act. It's
very
so
funny.
hilarious. Like, it's so good. So like, yeah, I think the whole first act is amazing because it just builds up all of those characters.
Yes, and it's so satisfying in the second act too.
Yeah, it pays off.
It leads to such great payoff, because then you get, the Too Late to Turn Back Now, where it's like, I assume that Bonnie doesn't know that this isn't his first murder and everything. Right. So she's like, dude, what the fuck? Why are you murdering people all of a sudden? What the hell? And then he's like, you can't go to Hollywood now, girlie. You stuck.
Right. You're stuck.
They're not gonna let you in. And then like Clyde's little song about Bonnie is so cute.
Which one?
It's called Bonnie. It's
right.
It's called Bonnie. I thought it was adorable. Listen and be like, man, I love her. She's so cute. She's so pretty. Like, I want to fuck her real bad. Like, it was just so cute. I thought it was so endearing and everything. And, like, it's just... It's great payoff, especially, like... It's great. It's great. This musical's great. It deserved more.
It really did. Like, it really did. Because, and I mean, I get it, right? Like, they say it's a non-traditional score, and they're right? Yeah. Rockabilly, gospel, that's a tough sell on Broadway. That's a really, really tough sell. So you gotta have great characters and a great story in order for that to carry with the music that you're doing. And it obviously does, but like also, you know, it's 2011. You're competing against Sister Act and you know what I'm saying, in Book of Mormon. So it's like really, really hard to really, you know, explode with that. But yeah, like I was listening to the soundtrack, and I was listening to it on YouTube, and one of the first comments said, by the end of this, you're going to see how great this musical is. Like you're gonna be disappointed at how poorly it was received because of how great it actually is.
This musical was snubbed.
So man, this thing took a rough dive.
Just like SZA at the Grammys, but
yeah, well,
that's a
different conversation. But yeah, but like, I think the only reason that I think it didn't do well. This is just a theory. I don't know if this is true or not.
All right.
But I think the reason that it didn't do well is the ending. We all know the story of Bonnie and Clyde. We know how it ends, right? And so I think what throws a lot of people off is you can have a sad musical. You can have a sad ending to a musical. You just can't end on a sad note. Like you know what I'm saying?
Unless you're Hades Town.
Even then, like, you know, even then, like, the last song is still hopeful.
That's
right?
a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta send the people out, even if it's a sad, tragic story. You gotta send them out feeling somewhat good.
Yeah.
And that's the killer, I think, of this musical, is that it doesn't do that. It's sad ending, and there you go, get out. Like, and I'm like, I don't care what your musical is, you can't do that. Like you can try, but you will fail. Like it's that's one of like the laws of gravity when it comes to musicals, is like, no matter how your musical ends, no matter what your story is, the last note has to be hopeful, has to be upbeat, has to send the people home feeling good, because you're doing song and dance, you know what I'm saying? You're doing song and dance, you're doing jazz hands and high kicks, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta send the people home with something in their heart, like, even if it hurt, even if I cried, I still want to go home like, that was great, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
fair.
my theory. I just think that's what killed it. But musically, man, this thing is great.
It's awesome. Oh my god, the composition of this musical is so beautiful.
Yes.
And like they make rockabilly and gospel fucking work together.
They made it work.
They made it work.
Like God's arms are always open is my absolute.
I hope
God's arms are always open, and everyone's his friend. When you find him, all your darkest fears will come to an end. Fears come to an end.
Let me Google Michael Lanning. I need to know if this is a black man or not.
No, it's my guy. I just looked him up. Yeah, no, it's my guy. But he was so damn good.
Yeah.
He was so damn good. Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
his voice is iconic,
He
bro.
captured that gospel vibe of like
Man.
going to a church on Sunday morning
Man.
and getting hype about God.
Like he put me there. He put me there.
Yeah, he got me there. Mm-hmm.
He got me there. Where I,
Yes,
like,
Lord.
like I'm listening to it going, yes, yes.
Amen.
I'm like, bro, that it felt good. Like,
Yeah, it's oh my god, I could gush about this musical like all day. I think
Seriously.
it's awesome. It's such a shame. I'm glad that it's being on tour. It's been on tour for a while now.
Right.
And everything, and I'm so glad. I hope it somehow makes its way back to Broadway.
Yeah.
Because I feel like now, especially now that Hadestown is also on Broadway, people are probably going to be a lot more accepting of musicals that end on a sad note. Because while Hadestown technically doesn't end on a sad note, they tell you off the bat that this shit's going to be sad.
Yeah.
They're like, this is a sad song.
Right.
It's a tragic tale.
Right. Literally.
We're on the road to hell.
in Hadestown, like Andre the Shields is like, you know, he when he first says it, he's like, it's a sad song. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tragedy, gonna sing it again. Like,
and bring it right back at the end, like, it's a sad song.
Right. But at the end, he goes,
tragedy.
He said, I told you it was a sad song.
I told y'all. And yet here we are singing it again and again and again.
We told you. But, like he does it in a way where it's, like, perfect.
Yes, I would not be surprised if Anais Mitchell took notes from the ending of this musical to then create Road to Hell.
Yeah.
And like Road to Hell reprise and everything. And I hope that if it comes back to Broadway or like in the US in any capacity, they do something similar. Because I think that would help a lot.
Like imagine if this ended on a gospel song.
Yeah.
Right? Like on a good feeling gospel song.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it runs. I think it runs for a while. It just needed that.
Yeah. Needed one more song. Crazy.
We're like one more song.
Literally the opposite of like Aladdin and other musicals where we're like, no more songs. We're like, this one longer.
Just need
more.
one more. Just
more.
one more.
One more.
One more. And they would have killed it. They just would have killed it. But yeah, man, I freaking dug the hell out of this. Which is crazy because I'm like, not just because of the story, like it's we're talking, this is a story that takes place in what?
1936?
Like 1920s, 1930s or whatever. Like, it should not appeal to me. Right? No. Like, it's a Western rockabilly, hillbilly, gospel musical about two outlaws in the 30s. Like, this should not appeal to me at all.
And yet it works.
But I think the way that they lay out all of the characters and their story, and then the way that it all works out in the second act, how the payoff of each character.
Oh my god, the payoff is so good.
Like, that's what kills me.
It's
like because we know the story of Bonnie and Clyde, and we're like, obviously that we know how that's gonna end. But you introduce Ted and Buck and Blanche and you know what I'm saying, and even the preacher, and you're like, okay, but there's a story for them too. Like I was like, shut the front door. Like that's perfect. Like so like when each person's arc ends, you're like, damn, that was satisfying. Like
it's such a satisfying musical.
Is satisfying as hell. Story-wise and musically satisfying as hell. It just needed one more song.
Just needed that last little push. I feel like if it had one more song, it probably would have been nominated for a lot more musicals.
Absolutely. It would have ran longer.
For awards and Tonys and stuff.
It would have ran longer. I don't even think
I need to desperately know who in the hell won the Tony that Laura was nominated for. Who are you? Oh my god. This is unhelpful. Oh my god. Where am I? Where am I?
This was in 2011? I think it went to Sutton Foster.
No, it went to Audra McDonald.
Oh, well then, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, sorry. that I get it. Yeah, you lost that one. Sorry. So this one was only nominated for 2 Tony Awards. Best Performance by a Leading Actress for Laura Osnes, which cool, and Best Original Score, which again, cool. Did not win either.
No.
Obviously.
Shamefully.
Yeah. Shamefully. Really shameful.
Newsies won it.
Okay. Threw up a little bit in my mouth. That's alrighty. Okay.
We'll get there.
We'll call that a rough year.
Yeah.
Call that a rough year.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
It's in the list. We'll get there.
So all right, final ratings. What are you giving?
A+. A+. No notes other than one more song.
One more song.
No notes.
I'm gonna ride that A+ with you, man. This thing was great.
This thing was fucking awesome. Everybody
was-
should listen to Bonnie and Clyde.
It was so good, guys. Like so good. Please give it another listen.
Go listen to it, please. Begging.
And beg
On my knees.
beg every person who was involved in it. Write one more goddamn song.
Write it.
Write one more goddamn song. And it's
One
perfect.
more.
Okay? It's winning Best Revival in 2024. Goddamn.
Good. Period.
We're going for it. All right. So we gotta switch gears
Oh,
and
boy.
move on to our second musical that we're talking about. So we had high praise for Bonnie and Clyde. I can't wait to see where this goes. So the other musical of 2011 that dominated, okay, dominated the scene of Broadway the entire year is, of course, good old Book of Mormon.
Hi, my name is Jesus Christ. You have a lovely home. Hello. It's an amazing book. Bonjour. Hola. Ni hao. Me llamo Elder White. Are these your kids? This book gives you the secret to eternal life. Sound good? Eternal life. Jesus Christ. Super fun. Hello. Ding dong. And if you let us in, we'll show you how it can be done. No, thank you. Sure. Oh, well. That's fine. Goodbye. Have fun in hell. Hey now. You simply won't believe how much this book will change this book will change this life. This book will change your life. Hello, would you like to change religions? I have a free book written by Jesus.
And the Book of Mormon, guess who's back? Guess who's back on Curtain to Curtain? Our good old friend Robert Lopez. And this time he's joined by South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They wrote the music, they wrote the lyrics, and they wrote the book. So all 3 guys, lyric, music, and books for the Book of Mormon. It follows 2 missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who are sent on a mission to Uganda to preach the good word to the people there.
But there's war.
Yeah.
And so they don't care. They're just
Right.
focused on the AIDS and
Yeah,
the
so, like,
famine and much bigger issues than God.
Yeah. So, yeah, the people are dealing with AIDS, famine, female genital mutilation, child molestation. There's a violent general, like...
Who's named General McFucking Buttface or some shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
We're not gonna deal
And
with
like,
that.
anyways, so there's Elder Price.
Elder
who
Price and
is-
Elder Cunningham.
Elder Price is Andrew Nallis, I believe, and Elder Cunningham is our friend Josh Gad.
Our friend Josh Gad.
And listening to let's finish the plot first, and then I'll get into my
Yes.
little thing about Josh Gad. So, Josh Gad's character, after hanging out there, no. Price leaves. Sorry. Their voices are so similar, I get them confused. Elder Price leaves after making an attempt to do this and everything. He leaves, goes to Orlando, Florida, because that's where he wanted to go originally, and then he realizes that Florida fucking sucks, which, like, duh, of course, it's fucking Florida.
Which, like, duh.
Yeah. So while he's gone, Cunningham decides to make up a bunch of lies to get the people to convert, and it works until he tries to do this on a general, and then it doesn't work. So then he also leaves. And so then I forget the girl's name. It starts with an N.
Nabalungi?
Yes. Nabalungi. You know, they have a whole little cute song and everything, but
that song was hilarious.
Yeah, they leave, and then she's like, "Oh, they're gone. I guess, you know, God won't help us." Da, 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 da. You know, oh yeah, Cunningham got eaten by a lion and stuff, and then they come back. So then they think that Cunningham's the second coming of Christ or third coming of Christ, whatever the fuck. So then they all convert. Yay, musical's done. I see why Josh Gad was casted as Olaf from this musical.
Yeah.
He really. I hope he's cool with it because he got typecasted. I hope he's okay with that because he got typecasted. So,
I'm sure he's not. He's rolling in a sea of money.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's okay
fine
with it. But like, I don't hate South Park. I think that some of their jokes are a little crass and too on the nose, and they tend to punch down instead of punching up like a good comedy. But I like their games. Some of the jokes are funny and everything. This, however, doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it's a shame because it's fucking Mormons. There are so many jokes you can make about Mormons.
Oh man!
And like, its music isn't good. Its cast is fine, I guess. I mean, the plot is incredibly boring and uninteresting and just really rips on just, haha, they said curse words, haha, haha, they said a curse word, haha, General McFucking Buckface, haha, they're Mormons, they don't have sex, like, haha, they don't know better, haha. Like, it just... It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. No, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
Man. So
I feel more strongly about this than I do Be More Chill.
Wow.
I really don't like this musical.
That's impossible. Is the dirt under the dirt under the dirt. You understand? It is
like
shit stain.
Like Hello's pretty funny. I'll give it that. I like Hello. And I like the reprise at the end.
Right.
And everything. I like Hello. I like those two songs.
And that's it.
That's it. I don't like anything else about this.
Oh
I think it's funny that they bring up the history of Mormonism because I kind of understood it but didn't fully understand it, so now like I have a better understanding of it. And let me not say that actually.
Yeah.
Let me not say that actually. That's a bad idea. Let me not say that.
Oh my god.
Let me not say that.
So...
But religion's interesting, man. I'll say that. Religion's interesting.
That's a great way to put it. Man.
What do you have to say about Book of Mormon?
So it was so funny because you texted me.
I did
like 2 days before. It was like, I hate this. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, I absolutely hate this. And at that point in time, I hadn't listened to it, so I was like, I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh man, that's upsetting. Oh man, I don't
prior
want
to this, I had listened to I think Hasadiga Evil Eye
Mm-hmm.
because one of my friends back like in high school had showed me it because they thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's kind of funny, but like in the haha kind of way. Oh, haha.
Like tiny chuckle kind of way.
Yeah, like oh yeah, that's funny, but like yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
continue.
yeah. When you texted me that, I was like, oh man, now I'm like, my expectation for it just went down. Like, I mean, I didn't have high expectations anyway, but I was like, no man, now my expectations just went down. And so, like, I think, yesterday, I listened to the whole thing, and I love this.
Really?
I love
Wow.
this. I could not feel any more different from you on this one.
Wow.
I am in love with this. The Book of Mormon. This was hands down the best week of musicals that we've done on this show so far. Like the best pairing that we've had.
It's a good pairing. I don't get it.
I'll tell you.
don't get it.
I can totally explain why. I can totally explain why I love this. So like I said, our friend Robert Lopez comes back. Anyone who's listened
For
to
a
us,
reminder, he wrote Avenue Q.
yes, he wrote Avenue Q, which we both despise. A great deal. So when I found out he was attached to this, that was why my expectations were down, because I was like, dude, Avenue Q, I hate that thing. I hate that thing so much. But Book of Mormon was a huge hit, so I was like, okay, like, you know, but so was Avenue Q, actually. Avenue Q was a huge hit. But the difference is there's 8 years apart between the two.
That's a good point, yes.
And I think those 8 years mattered. Like, a great deal, especially for the writing. What stunk so much about Avenue Q was that the jokes were not only crass, they were juvenile. Like they were amateur and juvenile and like outdated. They were outdated by the time the year was over. You know what I'm saying? Like just really, really bad stuff. So what I liked about this one was we got 8 years of maturity on it. It's got a little bit more maturity on it. Are the jokes still crass? Abso-freaking-lutely. There's a couple of things that you're just like, dude, like, I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if it was Trey. I don't know if it was Matt, or I don't know if it was Robin. But there's like 2 or 3 things in the musical you're like, stop. Like, for General Butt Fucking Naked, no.
That's his name.
Yeah,
General
like
Butt
you,
Fucking
like
Naked.
horrible decision.
Terrible name. They changed that. They did change it.
Like, I hope so, because that was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like, it was really,
they changed it, and I think after 2020, with all the protests and everything, they changed some of the plot a bit and everything to make it more modern and not less down on black people, not punching down as much on black people and Africans, which is good.
Yeah,
thank
like,
goodness.
It made me so mad, because I'm like, here you have a name like Nabulungi, you have Mafala Hatimbi, like you have African names. Why the fuck is your general called Butt Fucking Naked? That is stupid as shit. Like, that irritated the fuck out of me. So I was just like, yeah, I'm really glad that they fixed that.
Yeah.
So that, yes, there's that stupid stuff in there. Okay, fine. But here's the thing, and this may be the low-hanging fruit, right? Mormons.
Yes.
Love you guys. I'm sure you guys are great.
No.
Your faith is very, very easy to make fun of.
It's
right?
very easy.
Very
like,
easy to make
out
fun
of all of the like diversions of Christianity, and like Abrahamic faiths and everything. It's like them and Jehovah's Witnesses. They're the easiest to believe.
Yeah, it's just like there's a lot of
easiest. There's so much material.
There's a lot of comedy there. So like
Mm-hmm.
what I loved about this was, and especially in contrast to Avenue Q, is like you got a real life, opponent. Well, I shouldn't say opponent, but like you got a real life issue, and it's very easy to make fun of, and at the same time there is aspects of it to respect. And I felt that they found a great balance of doing both.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that they make fun of are funny. Like they are there is some good laughs to be had in here. There are. And then when you talk about the stuff in Uganda, right? You got people dealing with famine, AIDS, the AIDS crisis, they're being tortured and all that type of stuff. But what happens in real Mormon faith is that they do go to these places and they try to preach that word, but
they provide actual support.
Yeah,
At the cost of them converting.
At the cost of them converting, but it's like, the idea is you're coming into these poverty-stricken areas, and all you're selling is this concept, and you're not really helping with the issues that this area is facing.
Yes.
And that I think was the issue with the Mormon faith in the beginning, was that they were just going to the places and being like, "Oh, we got this book for you," and it's like, "Yeah, dude, do you have medicine? Do
you got food?
You got food or anything? Like, oh no, we just came with the good word. Like, well, get out of here. No one
Get
cares."
out, yeah.
Right? So like that, them making fun of that, I thought was brilliant, because that is a very hilarious and interesting comedic thing to exploit about this church. So I thought that was funny. Andrew Rannells is one of my favorite Broadway performers. Dude is so good. He's a great singer, great performer, and he's just intentional in everything he does. He's super intentional in everything. So I love his performance in this. It is so over the top. It is so goofy. And it works. It works for the style that they're writing in.
It does.
And so that was great. I didn't realize that was Josh Gad until I looked up the cast. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I could immediately tell, because Josh Gad just has this voice that's so incredibly annoying, and it's not his fault. That's just how he was born. It's not his fault. But like I said earlier, I can see why Disney casted him to be Olaf.
Oh yeah.
Because he captures the vibe of incredibly naive and unaware incredibly well.
Yeah.
So
and he's really good at what I call strained singing, which is something that's really difficult to do. Like him, and I want to say Jack Black do that style very, very well, where it's like they're stretching a lot of their notes to the breaking point, but they still sound in key. So that's something that they're very good at doing. And it works for certain songs in here. I found myself laughing hard.
I was the opposite. I was cringing the entire time. I was
there's so
maybe if I give it
songs.
a second listen, maybe I'll like it more. But I couldn't get with it. I don't know. And it's a shame, because I don't hate, like I said, I don't hate the South Park creators. I think some of their jokes are bad, and I don't like that they punch down instead of punching up.
Yeah.
But
and this is
I
a
like their
punching
games.
down musical.
Yes. I like
hard.
their games. I like the games. I like The Sick of Truth, and I like the Fractured Butthole and everything. Yeah, it's Fractured Butt space
Right.
WHOLE hole. They didn't. Mm-hmm. Title's bad, but whatever. But I would love to see how it's revised now. I would love to see how it's revised now because I'm looking at it and yeah, I'll just read the Wikipedia article after the George Floyd protests and everything. Actors from the current original and like current cast signed a letter being like, "Yo, y'all need to update this or else this is not going to look good for y'all." Yeah. So the revised script aimed to give the villagers a lot more agency and put the villagers center and not the missionary center. Right. So I want to see the revised version of this musical. Cuz maybe I'll like it more. Maybe I'll like it more if I see like a different version of it. The original version of it, I can't get on with. It's too many crass, underhanded shit jokes.
Yeah,
me,
and I mean, like, and I could totally see like how, yeah, because it is super crass, like, and sometimes over the top, like it does go over the top, like All American Prophet, like.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it goes over the top. You know, they make things up. It's so like egregious. You got Spooky Mormon Hell Dream, which is just dumb. Like some of these are just dumb. Joseph Smith, American Moses, is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life, but it's dumb. Like it is mad dumb. Like some of it's like some of it is intending to be like intending to be intending to offend, right? Yes. Which is the style of Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Intending to offend, which can be fine and can be funny.
I think if I was in 2011, I would probably think this shit's funny as hell. Now, though, no.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Some of it is, I'm not gonna lie, some of it is really bad. Like some of it is harsh and over the top and unnecessary. Some of it is. Yeah. But what I love about it is it kind of equally offends everybody. Like, and I think that's something that they get away with. It's like, yeah, we're punching down on Mormons. We're also punching down on Ugandans. And we're also punching down on white people. And we're also punching down on gay people. Like, everybody gets it. So, like, I feel like that's where they get away with it because it's so offensive, but it's equally offensive. Like, everybody's going to be like, hey, bro, that's an issue. Like, yeah, but so is everything else. So, I think that's where it's balanced in a way that's like, yeah, no, that's pretty funny. And there is some dumb shit in
There's a lot of
there is some dumb shit. Okay, like the whole, oh god, like the whole like someone told them that raping babies gets rid of AIDS. Like what?
What? Yeah, and then Cunningham's like, no, don't rape babies. Rape frogs.
Rape frogs. That's better. Like what?
Like, huh?
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, I will say. I'm thinking about it more. I'm chewing on it more. I don't hate it that much. Okay. I don't like it though. I still don't like it, but I don't hate it that much. You've convinced me a little.
There we go.
I think that Baptize Me is a funny song. And I honestly think the whole plot with Cunningham is a great parallel to how things are in real life. And how we came about the Mormon religion, and everything, and I will give them that was pretty smart. I will give them like, that. Because that was some pretty smart shit right there.
Yeah, it's so like over the top, and then he involves so many things that, like pop culture that are embedded in there, and it's like obviously it doesn't make any sense, but
That's the point.
But that's the point.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, it's brilliant in that regard that it in incinerating this faith, it actually kind of tells you more about it, like at the
Yeah.
same time. And like, you know, we gushed about Bonnie and Clyde's music. The music in this one is not as
No.
risky. It's certainly not as risky. It's very
It's very Broadway.
yes, it's very Broadway, very standard Broadway.
Yes.
Which, I mean, if you can make it work, you can make it work.
If it works, it works. I personally don't enjoy it that much. The music specifically. The music specifically I think is kind of boring, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. I think they could have incorporated more elements of African music, specifically Ugandan music, but African music in general, just so that way they're not like, oh, we can't find specific African music. Whatever. I think they could have done better incorporation of it, though.
I think there's a lot to expect the three white guys who are intending to offend.
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
Yeah. I mean,
My point still stands, though.
yeah, fair point.
I think, like, I like that they incorporate the language.
Yes.
Like, they incorporated the language. It couldn't have been that hard to just have a couple of drums.
Sure.
Y'all couldn't find a couple of drummers to do that.
I mean, I think the idea is it is okay, perfect. The idea is it is seeing African life through a privileged white lens. and
There you go.
not recognizing these people's humanity or their autonomy, and really only seeing it through their faith and saying, you know, you're not really, I guess, a person unless you're a part of this faith. Like, even in Hello, there's a moment where, like, you know, people are like, you know, they don't want to talk about it, and they're like, that's fine, you know, have a good time burning in hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they treat it, as, you know, we don't see you unless you are a part of this faith, and anyone who isn't is unclean, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So there is that aspect of just looking at it from their perspective, and that's how it's presented from their perspective.
Yes.
So I get that, and like, it works because it has,
I guess,
so much humor to it.
I guess I'm expecting too much of this musical, and that's why I don't like it, is because I'm expecting a lot more from a musical than what I'm getting.
Yeah. And I can totally get that. I can totally get that, especially with this one.
Because, like, I do think they could have, like, this could have been a fun musical and everything. Not, like, it could have been a fun comedy, and it could, like, poke fun at Mormons thing. I just wish the comedy wasn't so lowbrow. I think is what it is. And, like, the music wasn't incredibly boring and stuff. I wish that, like I said, I want to see the revision. I hope that there's, like, a slime tutorial out there that has the revised version of the musical, because I think I'd probably like it more than the original version of it. Assuming it was actually revised. I
mean,
so, I would like to hope it was revised.
There's so many good moments in it, though. Like,
but yeah, I agree there are some good moments. Like I said, I think as much as I don't like Josh Gad, I think he captures the naive little white guy, lost and confused, really well.
Yeah.
And
this was a mega musical. Like,
this was a mega musical.
This thing took over. It was nominated. This is our biggest musical so far on our list. It was nominated for 14 Tonys.
And I think it got 8.
Yeah, and won 8. So, like, that's...
Hadestown won more.
So, Hades. True.
Hadestown got one more on it.
Let me say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, it won 9.
Ah,
9.
shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, huge. It dominated that year. It was
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. So yeah, took everything from everybody.
It did.
But yeah, and look, I get it. Like I said, it's a long way from the internet is for porn. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a long way from that.
Yes.
You know, so I'm like, okay,
Mm.
I respect the maturity. Yes, it's still crass. Yes, it's still punching down. Yes, it's still standard Broadway. But you got a interesting story out of it. You found a measured and balanced way to, make fun of something that's apparent in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And you got there's some great humor in here. So overall, man, I dug the hell out of this. I really did.
That's fair.
So
You're wrong, but that's fair.
final grades. What are you giving Book of Mormon?
I am going to give Book of Mormon a flat C. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I
Yeah.
wish I could like it, but I just can't.
Nice. I am going to give Book of Mormon a solid A. I had
Wow.
fun with it. I'm sorry. I know it's dumb. It's so dumb. It is so dumb, but it is so goddamn funny.
All right.
like in 20 we listened to Avenue Q. Avenue Q came out in 2003. We listened to it in 2023. So that was
Yes.
20 years later. This one came out in 2011. So it's only 13 years old for me. Like maybe
Yeah.
in 7 more years I'll be like, yeah, this was ass, but like right
For
now
now, at
it
least,
worked.
though, yeah.
So that's an A for me, a C from Lazuli. Great lineup this week. I hope this streak continues because this was a blast.
Well, we'll see. Cause next time we've got Bring It On
Ooh.
and Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Those are 2 very interesting ones.
Yes.
Ooh. Maybe we'll be surprised. I hope we're
Maybe we'll
pleasantly
be.
surprised.
I hope I'm surprised.
That would be
Because
great.
I don't think I've seen all of Bring It On, the movie.
The movie.
And I don't think I've seen all of it. I think I've seen chunks of it.
Okay, you got to do that before we do
I gotta
this.
fix that. I gotta fix that. I will
Yeah.
watch the movie before I watch the musical.
Please do.
But I know nothing about Bye Bye Birdie.
Me either.
So we shall see.
I'm hoping for another Annie Get Your Gun or
Yeah.
something along those lines. So
Yeah.
that would be great. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Great show. If you haven't checked out those musicals, we cannot recommend them enough. I know I can't recommend both of them enough.
I can only recommend Bonnie and Clyde personally, but you know what? You got free will. Do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to listen to me in Phoenix. We're just 2 random ass people on the internet.
I'm using that. So, my name is Phoenix.
I'm Lazuli.
We have been your adjacent theater kids, and we will see you guys next time. Still haven't come out with an outline, out tagline. We gotta, yeah. All right,
Yep,
bye.
See ya.